Mrs. Parker, she was an amazing elementary school teacher that 3 of my children had. She is an extra mile kind of teacher that every parent just dreams about for their child. One time when I was with her at a parent-teacher conference and we were discussing her career, she told me how much teaching had changed in the 20 to 25 years she'd been teaching. How there were basics that she taught, and then she told me how now she felt like more of a social worker when she told me the story of a boy who came into her classroom with cigarette burns across the top of his forehead. Her heart just broke, and mine did too. And at that school, our children were often complimented on their steadiness. We had many children, and so that they were well known. And I thought, what gives our children an edge? We don't really do that much extra things at home. But as I pondered on it, I thought, my children have an edge because they know that I love their dad, and they know that their dad loves me. Marriage is the safest place for children. There is no other place safer for children than marriage. Every indicator of a child's well-being and development is tremendously enhanced by biological parents who are married and stay married. There is strong evidence in research that shows that children from married homes are better off financially, physically, emotionally, socially, academically. Almost every indicator for success shows that. If I were a technologically savvy person, I could show you a PowerPoint with bar charts that would show the differences between married homes and unmarried homes. But I'm not that technologically savvy. But I do enjoy working with food. This glass here of strawberries represents the amount of time a married couple has for their children. This glass of strawberries represents the amount of time a single parent has for their child. A married couple has the resources of both to help their children. 2 heads really are better than 1. Married couples can watch homework assignments. They can be aware of their children's friends and activities. Studies show that children from unmarried homes, single parent or unwed homes, have 13 to 9 hours less time per week than children from married homes. Children from married homes are better off with their education. This represents the children from married homes who attend college. This represents the children from single parent or unwed homes who attend college. In education, the gap begins early. Married couples tend to move less, so there's less disruption for different school changes. Married couples tend to have more money, so they live in nicer neighborhoods with safer schools. In a married home, there's a greater chance for a college aspiration. Children that come from a single-parent home, studies show, have less income and less education. This cup is dirt. It's not food. This cup represents the troubles that teens from unmarried homes can encounter. Every risk for your teenager is greater from an unwed or single-parent home. There's a greater risk for delinquent acts, a greater risk for drug and alcohol abuse, a greater risk for premarital sex, a greater risk of committing a crime. Why do parents from married homes have less trouble with their children? Well, obviously there's 2 parents, so that you get the double coverage. This is something that the Brookings Institute found in a study they did. This was a finding they said, quote, why, according to a study by the Brookings Institute, quote, levels of parental involvement, supervision, monitoring, and closeness are higher on average in 2 biologically married parent families than in single parent families. So a married couple generally has much more invested in their child's well-being. They're emotionally invested. They want what's best for their children. Children from an unmarried home or a step-parent home are the victims of abuse much more often than children in a married home. Are there times when divorce is justified? Certainly. Are there times, or are children from married homes the ideal kind of children? Certainly not. But the risks are greater in an unmarried, single-parent home, and the opportunities are greater for a married home. This is what Elder Oaks said. There are surely cases when a divorce is necessary for the good of the children, but those circumstances are exceptional. In most marital contests, the contending parents should give much greater weight to the interests of the children. With the help of the Lord, they can do so. Children need the emotional and personal strength that comes from being raised by two parents who are united in their marriage and their goals. What can you and I do to help children be safely in a marriage? We can uphold our own families. We can strengthen our own marriages. We can make family life a sweet dessert. This week, you can give an extra act of love or service to your spouse. This week, you can do 20 extra minutes of time with the child for playtime or listening to them. This week, you can make a difference in your home and in your family. Elder Ballard said, "It is most important to remember that all larger units of society depend on the smallest and most fundamental unit, the family. No matter who or what we are, we help ourselves when we help families." Thank you.